Welcome to our food storage, our pantry, our grocery in the basement, whatever you'd like to call it. I am really excited to give you a tour of it today, so stick around. First, let me apologize for the lighting. One of the reasons that we have our food storage in this room is because there are no windows. So good for food storage, not so much for filming, so please bear with me with the lighting I have available. If you're new here, we're a family of 7. We live in the Maritimes in Canada, and our kids are between the ages right now, let's see, of 8 and 16. So we have kind of kids on the older end of the scale there. And we do have a large garden. We did raise chickens this year. And so this pantry is going to help feed our family through the winter time. Now, I kept putting this video off because I was hoping to kind of tidy things up, get things put away, but the reality is it's constantly in flux, and so I'm just going to show you as it is with some disorganization and some mess included. Now, I feel like this isn't as full as in the previous years. I can link up top if you'd like to see last year's video, and it does make me a little nervous, but I think we're going to be okay. So let's go have a look. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this shelf here, which you can see the top is kind of empty, which is unusual. Last year, if you look at that video, it was very full, and it's just not this year. But we do have some butternut squash from our garden that I grew. There's another squash that we purchased. There's some canned pumpkin we have left over from last year. We were able to can pears this year, which is something we haven't been able to do for a while. And then there's apple butter and then applesauce, most of which is left over from last year. I made too much. So this, it may get us through the year, it may not, we'll see. So then moving on down, we have fruit, we have pineapple, we have cranberry sauce, we have canned pears from the store, some leftover canned pumpkin, and then we have canned peaches. I try to have enough food in our food storage for at least 3 months. It kind of depends. Maybe sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. You know, pears, I think we're good for over 3 months. Peaches, probably just at that. Heading down to the next shelf, we have just some random roasted red pepper and sun-dried tomatoes from the store. And then we have these canned tomatoes that are actually from last year. I did not can any just diced tomatoes this year because we had too many last year. So this may not be enough for the year, but I did more like tomato prepared products. So I'm hoping that that's going to make a difference, and hopefully we use this up, but then we don't quite totally run out before it's time to make more. So on the bottom shelf here from left to right, we've got some canned olives, some tomato sauce from the store, and then a whole bunch of pizza sauce that I did. It will not be enough for the year. We make pizza quite often, but at least there's a good amount there. Some Alfredo sauce, some pasta sauce I got on sale last year, so we stocked right up. And I actually just have one lonely jar here of home canned pasta sauce left. We've eaten the rest of what I made already. These are tomato paste. And then on the end here, I actually have enchilada sauce, and this will be enough for the year for sure. We really love enchiladas, and it makes it so much easier when I already have it canned and ready to go. On this next shelf here, we have a variety of noodles. We have like some ramen noodles, which we had a little bit on the other shelf there as well. Some dumpling or broad noodles, spaghetti noodles, and you'll see a whole bunch of mac and cheese boxes. They were recently on sale and we took advantage of that, so we are stocked up for a long time on that. Moving down to the next one, we have honey, then we have some strawberry jam from the store, as well as a whole bunch of strawberry jam that I made. We have 1 blueberry jam left from last year, and 3 raspberry jams. We have some Nutella. We usually buy 1 2-pack every year, so we've had that for a while. We just haven't gotten into the second one. A big old tub of peanut butter, and then we have maple syrup. So then heading down, we have green beans that I canned, as well as a few from the store, some canned corn, some canned mixed vegetables. There's some overflow broth there, some canned potatoes, and then we have some canned peppers and beets that are left over from last year. I found I really didn't use the canned peppers very much, so I'm just trying to use them up, and I decided to freeze what we had this year instead, Pickled beets we love, which I'm glad we had a good harvest last year because we did not this year. And so I just ended up doing 2 jars of quick pickling in the fridge and none for actually processing for the shelf. So we will definitely go through those because we do like them. Moving down, we have all of our broth. We have turkey broth, beef broth, chicken broth, and then we have, I think, 1 or maybe 2 left from last year when we did tomatoes. It's like a tomato sauce that we can use for making Spanish rice and such. I have, well, I'll share with you what's in my freezer. I plan to make a lot more broth, but I'm kind of out of space and out of jars. So for right now, this is what we got. So on the bottom here, we have some canned goods, like cream of chicken and cream of mushroom soup. There's only a few recipes that I use those for. I try not to use them too much, but we don't have cream and we rarely, I mean, we have some milk in the house, but we're not big milk drinkers. So it's hard for me to make my own of those. So I have that. Then I have some tomato soup that I canned. And then I've got some beans like kidney beans, chickpeas, then black beans that were on sale. I think they were 50 cents a can. And they're good for quite a while, so I stocked up on those. And then there's some navy beans, some pinto beans, and some like baked beans. We do use dried beans, which I'll show you, but it's nice to have some on hand for maybe when I forgot to soak them overnight, or like say the power's out, it's just easier to open a can and to make something with it. So just to the side here, we have some carrots. We grew way too many carrots this year, and so I've preserved them in a number of different ways. I did not can them, like pressure can them, because we just don't like the texture very much. However, I did try freezing them in a few ways, which I'll show you when I get to my freezers. But I'm also trying storing them. We have some in our fridge, and I'm storing these ones here just to see kind of how they do on their own. I'll show you some more that we have elsewhere in here because we really do have a lot of them. So while this is a food storage, we also have food for our cat in here. We have both dry and some wet food for her. I did not intend to have 2 bags of dried food. I accidentally forgot to take it off the list after I bought some. So we have a lot of dried cat food. We also have this bin here. It has white sugar inside of it. I just find it's easier to keep kind of those things in a bin, and then we take them upstairs as we need them, which I'll show you upstairs after. So underneath the white sugar bin, we have a gigantic bin of, I believe it's hard white wheat. It's wheat berries. We actually have 2 of them. They were gifted to us. We currently do not have a grain mill, so that's next on our list to purchase, and then we'll hopefully be going through those because we also have some that we previously had as well, and that way we don't have to store as much flour. So that's what that is. So back here we have a whole bunch of batteries. It is important in emergency situations to have batteries. We use batteries so much in this day and age. So we have a whole bunch of AA and AAA. We did have some D batteries, but maybe they are all upstairs right now, but we've got batteries in there. So continuing with this shelf here, we've got toilet paper and paper towels on the top there. And then we have kind of like our reusable baking dishes. I use these a lot if I'm making food for someone else or freezer meals. I've got some cups, some like utensils, like throwaway ones in case we're going on a picnic somewhere. I don't know. These are just those things we have. On the next shelf, we have cleaning products. These are things like just general cleaners, garbage bags, and then we also have Ziploc bags on the shelf. It's never ideal to keep your cleaning supplies with your food, but this is what we're working with. So we've got laundry detergent, dishwasher, soap, we've got some sanitizing wipes, and then we've just got our potatoes put over there for right now. Again, you know, I just have to work with the space that we have, and so this is how we've managed to make it work. So in this first big tub right here, we have rice in here. It was recently on sale, so we stocked up on a whole bunch of rice. The next one has dried beans in it. I'll give you a look in another one in a second so you can see what that looks like. And then the last one there, we have brown sugar and icing sugar that we keep in that one. So coming over this way, I don't know how much the camera will capture this, but we have number 10 cans all stocked in behind here. These are freeze-dried fruits and vegetables. They have a very long shelf life, I think 25 years, so we don't use those. We don't rotate them. They are just there for long-term food storage. And then moving this way, we've got Kleenex and there's some toilet paper tucked in behind that shelf. Here is some more of the carrots that I'm just trying to find ways to store them. Ideally, they would be in wood shavings or sand, but I have not been able to get any, so they're just in a bin right now. This entire bin was full, so we've made great progress on them. So underneath those carrots, we have another container that is full of rice that was on sale, and they're just in bags and put them in there. And then there is another gigantic drum, super, super heavy, of wheat berries that we have at the bottom here. Here's the next shelf. So we have some cereal, some crackers, some nuts, some popcorn. We did try using like a popcorn maker over the last year, but we found we ate popcorn so rarely that it actually went stale. We ended up popping it and giving it all to our chickens. So we're back to the bags for now, but one day I'd like to go back to using kernels. You can see, like I mentioned, the Kleenex and toilet paper on the right. And then as we move on to this shelf, we have coconut milk, we have salad dressings, we have Parmesan cheese. There's both store-bought and homemade barbecue sauce. It's my first year that I made barbecue sauce, and it's a little bit different than what I normally make, so we're kind of seeing how we like it. Then there's Worcestershire sauce, maybe I'm saying that right, I don't know. Soy sauce, and then like sriracha sauce. And then moving down, we have mayo, hot sauce, Frank's hot sauce, some ketchup, which we need more ketchup, we eat a lot of ketchup, mustard, salsa, and then just in behind here, a little hard to see, we've got some sesame oil as well as smoke, liquid smoke, this stuff here. And then we have a little bit of Lady Ashburn that I tried making, and it's okay, it's not our favorite. I don't know if I even made it right. It's from last year, so we're still eating that. And then there is some green salsa verde in there and a bit of zucchini relish left from last year. So we're just finishing those few things up. So because of the configuration of this room, it's a little bit hard to show you, but hopefully you can see we've got some quinoa, some cornmeal, some nori, and then we have green split peas as well as pinto beans and a bunch of black beans that are dried. I got the green split beans or peas on sale from Walmart. The really big bag, that's how we typically buy our dry beans, and that's from Costco online. And then the black bean, they haven't had the black beans at Costco for a while, so I bought lots of small bags. And we just keep them there until they're opened, and then we put them into the bins, which I'm going to show you. Heading down a shelf, I am surprised how many pickles I was able to make this year. I really didn't feel like we got a whole bunch of pickling cucumbers because we really, oh, those dang cucumber beetles were rough this year. But I'm actually surprised. We've gone through a few, but we got a lot more than I thought. We probably will have to buy some from the store. And then this is the first year I've done a little bit more meat. In the past, last year I only did turkey. I don't think I did any chicken. So we have some turkey left kind of in behind, it's a little hard to see. And then the rest of that is chicken from the meat birds that we raised this year. And that really helped free up the freezer space. So I definitely want to do more of those next year. On the bottom shelf here, we have sardines, we have corned beef, we have some bacon bits kind of falling over there. We've got some canned salmon, and then we have a whole bunch of canned tuna. We buy it when it's on sale as much as we can because we really love tuna. We eat a lot of it. So this is kind of like between this shelf and part of this shelf, this is kind of our meat protein type stuff that's in here that we're able to store. On this shelf here, we've got some breadcrumbs, some planko, like bigger bits of bread that was left over from Thanksgiving when I made stuffing, some chips. The kids have got some of their Halloween candy here, and some tortilla chips. And then we have like the baking area. So we've got, you know, the cornstarch, the extract, vanilla extract, molasses, baking powder, baking soda, some bran. I do have packaged pancake mix. It was on sale, and I find that's one of the things that's really easy. Like if the power's out, you can just add water and we can heat it on our wood stove or something. So I like to have one of those on hand. Then we have a bit of lard and a bit of Crisco. On the next shelf, we have a few cake mixes and some lemon pie filling that I got on sale. I was really craving lemon at that time, and I haven't used it yet, but I will. And then a whole bunch of apple pie filling. My family likes apple pies, and so I made a bunch of filling. There's some Jello pudding that we got on sale, and some Jello, like the flavored regular Jello. It's kind of a novelty for my kids. They haven't had it very often, so they were asking me to make them some. So I bought a few packs to make for them. Then we've got some cocoa and some chocolate chips. The milk chocolate was actually a substitution error. When I did a Walmart order, we don't usually have milk chocolate very often, so I'll still use them. And then underneath that, we've got raisins and dates, we've got cashews, pumpkin seeds, almonds, pecans, and sunflower seeds, just things that we use in baking and on things like oatmeal, or the pecans. I like to make sugared pecans at Christmas time. The next shelf is kind of like our drink shelf, so we have almond milk, we have some apple juice, we just stocked up on that, we were out of that for quite a while. Then we have some home canned cranberry juice. It's the first time I've made this and I am so excited to try it. I really like cranberry juice, so I'm looking forward to that. We have some whole milk powder. We do use milk powder a little bit here and there, but that's more for if we run out of milk, kind of that longer food storage because it can stay good for a while. We've got some hot chocolate, some lemon juice, which I mainly use for canning, and some sweetened condensed milk. Then coming down, we've got ghee, we've got some oil, like we've got olive oil and canola oil, we've got some Pam spray, we've got different types of vinegar, we've got malt and rice wine and balsamic. The Gatorade is just a few that we keep on hand for when our kids are sick, in case they want that, they need that. Then we have vinegar. Again, I use some for cleaning, but most of it's for canning and pickling. And then we have our water glassed eggs. I only had 5 jars this year. We've already got one upstairs that we're using. We got rid of our laying chickens in, I think it was July. So I was hoping to get more, but this is all we got. It's still gonna be a help. We are planning to get laying chickens again next year, but we really need to work on the infrastructure we have. They free ranged with no problem for a very long time. And then we started getting fox attacks and we lost quite a few. So that's what we have for this year, just the 4 jars. I've shared about this over-the-door shoe holder before and using it for spices. It is just so easy to find the spices. I used to have them in alphabetical order, but they are not currently in that order. But again, it's just a way to use vertical space, and we have all of our bag seasonings in this area. All right, we've made it to the last shelf here. I have a dehydrator, which I just moved to try and get more light in here, that usually sits up top there. I've got my tomato press. There's a mushroom kit my son will be doing for science this year. And then we have a bunch more spices that are in boxes or like containers. In behind that, I have all my canning stuff. I've got canner, I've got tons of lids, I've got all the stuff there that I need. Now this middle shelf here, when I went through our food storage in the summertime, I found a number of things that were expired or were about to expire, and what I did was I put them all on this shelf here so that we use these first, and as I make meals I try to use what is there first. So that's why those are there. So on these shelves here I have this bin over here which has flour, like white flour in it. Underneath is a bin of oats, so we've got rolled oats, we've got quick oats, we've got steel cut oats in there. I have my big roaster in the middle here that we use for all kinds of projects. And then in here I have whole wheat flour. In these here we have our beans that are open. I keep just a certain amount of beans upstairs, which I'll show you at the end. So we keep the rest of them once they've been opened in these bins. You can see we need to do a little bit of work because that one is not currently closing. The last thing before I show you our freezers is in here. These have wheat berries in them. So again, they're more wheat berries that we need to use, and we need to get that grain mill. Right now they're set up more for kind of long-term storage, but they're not, I wouldn't count on them being long-term storage in terms of like 5 or 10 years because of the way they're stored. So I do need to get that grain mill and start using those. Also, I talked about this last year and that we needed to really amp up our water supply. I have failed in doing that. We only right now have these bottles, this big one, and we do have these ones over here, which that one I think is empty. So yeah, we need to do better with our water storage. We are on a well, and we don't have like a backup electric pump for it. When the power goes out, we don't have access to water, so still need to work on that. Just a few quick more shelves. So these are shelves we added last year. We have vitamins right at the very top here. We have some just common medicines. And then we have spices that are open. I have little spice jars upstairs, so once the bag is open, but it's more than what fits in like my little jar, we just keep it here. It is not in a stud, these shelves, so we can't put things that are too heavy. I did have more spices there, and it was causing it to pull away a bit, so hopefully it will not fall off the wall now. And we need to fix that before I put anything heavier on there. So that brings me to our freezers. We have two freezers, a chest freezer and a stand-up freezer. Also, I have a dehumidifier over here, which I have found crucial for keeping this room from getting too humid in the summertime. So in this chest freezer, we call it our meat freezer. We purchased half a pig last February and a quarter of a cow in March, and we still have some left. I'm actually kind of surprised. It has a lot of chicken in it right now as well, more so the carcasses and the feet waiting for me to make broth. So I'll give you a quick look inside. So it is quite full. This is pork that's actually going to be for Christmas. We've got lots of chicken carcasses, like I said. There's like liver, chicken bits, there's some lunch meat. So once I make broth, this will go down quite a bit once I use up those carcasses and the chicken feet that are in there. And then we'll be ready to purchase more meat come the springtime. And this brings me to our stand-up freezer. We do have a little bit of meat in here because the other one was full, but we try not to keep meat in here because we find it is more likely this door will get left open than the chest freezer. Up at the top here, we have breakfast items. So I have bagels, pancakes, waffles, muffins. We have some bread for our church up there. And then here's where we keep, I've got buns, hamburger buns, hot dog buns. I've got like dinner rolls, bread that I've made and that I've portioned. The next shelf, we have mostly tortillas, some pre-made meals that I have, as well as some cheese that has been shredded. We do buy shredded cheese when it's on sale, but then we also buy bars of cheese and shred it ourselves when it's cheaper. So this is one way that I have preserved carrots this year, is I just chopped them and vacuum sealed them. I did not blanch them, so we'll see how this works. There's a number of these right here. I think there's 5 of those right there, and there's that's overflow from the veggies, which are down below. This shelf here is really just kind of an overflow. There is some like pre-made things like pierogies in there, there's a little bit, but it's primarily frozen fruits and vegetables, a mix from the store and from our garden. There's a lot of bagged tomatoes in there. I will use those to make tomato soup or to make like pasta sauce in the winter time. It's just easier to freeze it now and to slow cook it all day another time. So this drawer here, I've just pulled that out a little ways because it's very full. This is vegetables, and again, you can see I've done like some carrots in this manner. I've also done a number of shredding carrots, and I've done them both in the fine shred as well as a thicker shred, so it's ready to make like breakfast cookies, carrot cake, or to use in spaghetti sauce. We had a huge crop of green beans this year, so this has a lot of green beans in it. There's pumpkin puree and just kind of all different vegetables in this drawer. This bottom drawer is typically our fruit drawer, but you can see we had so many green beans and carrots. It has taken over, but there is fruit under there. We have raspberries. Oh, my freezer's gonna make noise at me now. But we have bananas, raspberries, strawberries, and blueberries from the summer, so those are all in the bottom drawer. So the last part of the freezer here is the door. We have a lot of butter. It was recently on sale, so we have this whole thing of butter. Going down, we have some yeast as well as more butter, some lunch meat, a few drinks there on hand. Even more carrots, tons of shredded carrots, like I said. There's one bag, which has, I think, 2 chicken carcasses in it. we apparently never had these for the summer. We have some popsicles there. And then in the bottom, surprise, butter. And there's also some carrots and some pumpkin there that's just overflow from the rest of the freezer. There you go. I don't think I missed anything, but if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I always try to answer comments or questions there. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it has inspired you to start putting food away for your family for the winter and to create your own pantry. I hope this finds you having a good day. Take care.